You know, Ricky, breaking up with a girlfriend can be a very painful thing. But it don't have to keep you down for long. I mean, let me tell you something from my own personal experience. I never had a regular girlfriend like you, but I did get kicked in the balls once by a mule. Now, I thought I would be hurting for the rest of my life. Do you know what happened the very next week?
What?
My mom had died.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to 5 Minute Movie Reviews, the show where we review all your favorite movies in 5 minutes or less, or, like our last two videos, in about 6 minutes or longer. But it's okay. It's my show. I can do whatever I want. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about a classic film this week, which I know we've talked about a couple other classics like Reservoir Dogs, and no, I think that's about it. Reservoir Dogs. So, we're going to be talking about Major League, which is considered one of the best sports films of all time, one of the best sports comedies ever made, and I don't know about all that. But I will start off this review by saying that this is one of the funniest films that I've ever seen. I actually hadn't watched this movie at all until about 4 or 5 years ago with my dad. It was on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore because screw Netflix. They take all kinds of good stuff off all the time. But it was on Netflix, and Dad was like, "Do you want to watch this?" And it was late at night, and I was like, "Sure, I'm up for a fun baseball movie." And oh my gosh, guys, it's hilarious. It's one of the only movies that makes Charlie Sheen likable in any way. So I'll leave you with that. But this movie is hilarious. The writing in this movie is very good. David S. Ward wrote and directed this movie, along with the two sequels, which, yeah, we won't talk about those. But his writing and comedic... his writing and comedy chops really show in this movie. I'm not really sure of what else he's done other than those two god-awful sequels, but you can tell that he has a background in comedy of some sort, because almost all of the lines in this movie that are supposed to be funny are funny. And if anybody who knows anything about writing comedy or making people laugh at all, you know that's a very hard thing to do. And this movie pulls it off. There's all kinds of absolutely hilarious lines in this movie. Also, really cool cast for the time. You got Wesley Snipes in here, who's, everybody knows him from Blade and all kinds of other movies. So he's really cool. Everybody likes Wesley Snipes. So he's in this movie. You got Charlie Sheen, who's behind me and looks hilarious in this movie. But he's really funny in the movie, and it's funny seeing him as like a heartthrob that like everybody really likes. All the fans cheer for him all the time. His Wild Thing haircut that he had, I wasn't around in 1989, but Dad told me that all of the kids at his school, basically, all the guys at his school loved that haircut, and all kinds of kids got that haircut when this movie came out. So haircut's very influential. A really fun character. You got Tom Berenger in here, who I will talk about him later in a minute because I'm not the biggest fan of his as an actor, but he's in the movie and people like him. Corbin Burnson is really funny as like this diva infielder who wants all the spotlight on him, but he's not as good as he thinks he is. He plays a diva so well. He's hilarious. You got the guy from the Allstate commercials, you know, "You're in good hands." I can't do the voice, sorry for the imitation. But he's in the movie, and he's really funny. The cast is really hilarious. So, with all that being said, it's a very fun movie, very feel-good movie. I want to talk about the plot for a second, because I actually think the plot in these movies can be pretty formulaic, in sports movies especially. But I think it's a really neat concept, so I'll give you a brief synopsis. The wife of a recently deceased tycoon businessman who owns the Cleveland Indians inherits the team once he dies. She hates Cleveland. She thinks it's horrible. It's too cold, which I haven't been there, but that's probably accurate. And she wants to move the team to Miami. And in order to do that, there's a clause in the contract where if they finish last in the division, she can move them to Miami like she wants. So she assembles a team of managers and scouts, and she has them put together the worst baseball team of all time. So they take ex-convicts like Charlie Sheen's character, who just got out of prison, and washed-up guys who, their catcher that they get, Tom Berenger's character, can't throw to second base. And they get all kinds of people who are just awful. And the players figure out that they were put on this team essentially to lose. So they go, "Screw her, we're going to try to win the pennant." So that's a really cool plot for this movie. As far as gripes for the movie, Tom Berenger, like I said a minute ago, he's not very funny. He's a little out of his element here in a comedy, and he's essentially the main character of the movie, and there's a romantic love triangle with him that just does not work for me at all. That part of the movie really kind of bogs it down, but other than that, guys, this movie's really solid, and I will be giving Major League a 9 out of 10. So, thank you all again very much for watching. Hopefully you dug my Hawaiian shirt. Why did I wear a Hawaiian shirt? Again, it's my show. I can do whatever I want. It does not relate to the movie, but here you go. So, thank you all again for watching. Stay tuned for new episodes every Monday at midnight. Bye.